conclude our discussion yesterday on planning your finances as a couple.
Yeah, how to build financial literacy in your marriage. Okay, so we've been able to look at some of the things we need to do to build financial literacy in our marriages. Yesterday we talked about your goals, your financial goals, how to set your goals, and how the couples can sit together and begin to plan that. We also talked about beware of each other's debts. You know, two of you are coming from different background and different debts. Then we also discuss what works for you. We talked about that. Each couple is different, so you need to look at what suits the two of you. Yeah. Then we also looked at have a fair expense strategy. That is, your expenses has to be fair. You are just starting off as married couple. Maybe probably two of you are entry level. You're earning entry level salary. You want to go and drive a luxury. Exactly. So you just have to have a fair expense strategy. Then we also say for the two of you, even though two of you are skilled in finance, but it's also good to have a third party, an expert that will give a different opinion. So we said hire a financial planner who is skilled in this area, and of course maybe he will look at your finances from a different perspective and offer his advice. Then the last thing we have to discuss today is plan for your retirement. Generally, you know, couples have to sit down together and plan for their retirement. Not only finances in retirement, but when the children have all gone, how will the two of them continue to live? And people have even said it is at that time that their love is supposed to be stronger and stronger, because there are no children at home again that will disturb them. But again, at that time, you know, like somebody made a very funny joke that your spouse will stop suspecting you. When your spouse stops suspecting you, then you should realize that you're already old. But I don't think that is the case. Two of you can rekindle that love that you shared some 30 years, 40 years ago. This is the time that two of you begin to see yourself as young teenagers. You know, it's like you are starting all over again. So as you are planning for your finances to live comfortably, you should also be planning for your love life. You should also be planning for other aspects of your life. You know, and retirement is not doom. And when you retire, you just sit there and you won't do anything. There are other careers that you can start, other things you can begin to do. While you were working full time, you didn't have those opportunities. You can even volunteer. You can work in your church. You know, things just to keep you healthy, because it's very dangerous when you are retired and you just live a sedentary life. You sit down one place, that can affect your health. So you also have to look at your health during retirement. And you should begin to embrace old age as it comes, because they say age or old age is in the mind. Even though you are now maybe above 60, getting to 70, still see yourself as young. Try to be active. Do little exercise while you have retired. Volunteer. Get involved in your local community. Do some little things that will keep you, moving. While at the same time, you are planned for your retirement. And you just need to continue to enjoy your life. Because we have seen cases where people live more in their retirement age. You retire at 60, or maybe yes, at 60. Some persons live up to about 80 or 90. But you need to plan for that retirement in terms of your finances. But that even reminds me today, you will discover that most of the state governments are owing pensioners.
Yes, I saw that in the news as well. Police pensioners, they went there to ask for demand for their pays and all that. Some said their gratuity has not been paid. Some
and they are
their
talking
pension.
about 15 months, over a year, and you are wondering,
how have they been surviving?
How have they been surviving? What is the issue? You know, and I will we'll also have to use this medium to appeal to the state governments, you know,
Federal
government as well. What is there that you cannot pay pensioners, people who have served 30, 35 years to their country, and you cannot pay them their benefits? You cannot pay them their monthly pension. For me, it's horrible. It's wickedness. Those state governors, do they owe themselves salaries? You don't owe yourself. So why can't you pay our senior citizens? Why? For God's sake. So that brings us to a point that you need to plan for your retirement, because it has been shown time and time over and over that the government cannot plan for your retirement. This has shown, I showed it already. Your organization cannot plan for your retirement. Your children cannot plan for your retirement for you. It is only you yourself. So it's a lesson for people who are still working to plan for retirement themselves and do not begin to rely on any government again. Why won't corruption increase? If those who are in service now, they see what their senior colleagues are going through, you think they will want to say, okay, when I retire, they'll come and queue up to collect a ministry pension? They will do anything they need to do to ensure, even if it means stealing money from the public fund to make themselves comfortable. So we are appealing to the various government, whether it is federal, whether it is state, whether it is local government, please ensure that by the 25th of every month, as you pay yourself salary, also pay our senior citizens. Because that will encourage the ones who are still in service to give their best. Okay, well, somebody was saying, what if they were doing these deductions from their salary, this new pension scheme? That scheme just took off. And we are still seeing some persons who are in the old scheme. And I'm sure it is those ones that this thing is affecting. The Pension Reform Act of 2004, most people who started that scheme, you know, you contribute, your employers contribute, employee contribute. And I'm sure at the end of retirement, you know, everything is given to a pension administrator. And it is those ones who are now responsible to pay the pensioner. So I'm sure that this transition state, these ones who are still in that old scheme, we should not allow them to suffer. The government should do everything. Mr. Governor, Mr. Local Government Chairman, Mr. President, please, as you pay yourself salary, pay our senior citizen what is due to them. So, for young couples, you have seen it, and we are saying part of building financial literacy in your marriage is to plan for your retirement. It is very, very important, and you have known who is to plan for retirement. It is yourself. So we have a very simple answer to that question. How should couples plan for retirement together? How should they plan for retirement together? You know, and the question is, they can start very early. As soon as they are married, they should begin to start planning for their retirement. So like we have said, we have a very simple answer to that question. For every client that we are talking to, we tell them the sooner you start planning for retirement, the better. You can never start too early. To avoid this kind of embarrassment we are saying that is happening today in our country. Okay, so and make sure that it is an account that you don't have access to. So if you start saving when you are newly married, maybe at 25, 24 as the case may be, you will not need that money maybe until you are 50 as the case may be. So we just need to start as early as possible. So that is what we'll advise young couples. You have seen what you are expected to do while you are trying to build financial literacy. Retirement planning is very key. The couples must come together plan their retirement so that they will have peace of mind while they are retired at their old age. I also appeal again to the government, please, please and please, pay pension allowances to our senior citizens. We will look at a very interesting issue today concerning marriage. Like I said, it's going to be on a lighter mood. But I'm so happy that we've been able to finish this series about couples, planning their finances together. We'll be discussing more of that. But let's look at that issue of marriage on a lighter mood. Some persons have said marriage is a contract. Somebody said it's a sober business contract. It's a business contract you go into that you're not even sure whether it's going to work.
You're not sure of the outcome.
Of the outcome, but you go into the contract and you sign. But again, the question I normally ask, some persons will say, okay, this is the person that is meant for me. And they tell us all the sweet stories. 1 year, 2 years down the line, during marriage, you are telling us there is a separation, there is a divorce. And I begin to wonder, what is the problem? Is there a specific person that is meant for you in marriage? Or so that once you see that your soulmate, no matter what happened, you can't separate. But again, you keep advising people, once your life is threatened in a marriage, then there's no point to say till death do us part. You just have to go for a separation. Maybe when tempers have calmed down, and if there is a need for you to work that marriage, let it work. Because it's only the living
that can make a marriage.
So if you are, you have seen cases of the man keeps molesting or abusing the wife. The only day that she stood against him, maybe hit him, that is the day the man will fall down and is dead. People will not look at all the abuses
that she has been enduring.
So there must be a balance to everything. So let's look at that story concerning marriage on a lighter mood, because it's Friday. Let's see how it happened.
All right, the story is called The Marriage Software.
Wonderful.
Yes, The Marriage Software. And it goes, dear systems analyst, I'm desperate for some help. Like this, someone asking for a help.
Okay.
I recently upgraded my system from girlfriend 7.0 to wife 1.0 and found out that the new program began unexpected child processing and also took up a lot of space and valuable resources. This wasn't mentioned in the product brochure. In addition, wife 1.0 installs herself into all other programs and launches during system initialization and then monitors all other system activities. Applications such as Voice Night Out 2.5, Golf 5.3 no longer run and crashes the system whenever selected. Attempting to operate selected Soccer 6.3 always fails and Shopping 7.1
Shopping 7.1 runs
instead. I cannot seem to keep 1.0 in the background while attempting to run any of my favorite applications, be it online or offline. I'm thinking of going back to Girlfriend 7.0, but uninstall doesn't work on this program. Can you please help? Then the analyst replied, this is a very common problem resulting from a basic misunderstanding of the functions of wife 1.0 program. Many customers upgrade from Girlfriend 7.0 to wife 1.0 without thinking that wife 1.0 is merely a utility and entertainment program. Actually, wife 1.0 is an operating system designed by its creator to run everything on your current platform. You are likely to be able to purge wife 1.0 and still convert back to Girlfriend 7.0 as wife 1.0 was not designed to do this, and it is impossible to uninstall, delete or purge the program files from the system once it is installed. Some people have tried to install Girlfriend 8.0 or wife 2.0 but have ended up with even more problems. Having wife 1.0 installed already, I recommend you keep it installed and deal with the difficulties as best as you can. So when any faults or problems occur, whatever you think has caused them, you must run the copy, apologize, forgive me, exit program, and avoid attempting to use the escape key, for it to freeze the entire system. It may be necessary to copy, apologize, forgive me a number of times, and eventually hope that the operating system will return to normal. Wi-Fi 1.0, although is a very high maintenance program, although a very high maintenance program can be very rewarding, to get the most out of it, consider buying additional software such as Flowers 2.0, Chocolates 5.0, Hugs or Kisses 6.0, or Tenderness or Understanding 10.0, or even Eating Out Without the Kids 7.2.1. Do not under any circumstance install Secretary 2.1 short skirt version, or a one night stand 3.2 any mood version. This is not a supported application for Wi-Fi 1.0, and system will almost entirely crash. Best wishes, yours sincerely, systems analyst. So very very short story that has what do we call it?
It's a satire.
It's a satire, but it's an allusion to how the computer operates and works. You understand?
Yes.
How the computer works and operates, but with an undertone of what happens in marriage and relationships. Yes, and you can't entirely call it a satire. I think it's didactic in nature.
Didactic in
nature. That is, it
Okay.
teaches you what you're supposed to do. Maybe not necessarily moral, but it teaches you what you're supposed to do. In case when you upgrade from girlfriend 7.0 to wife 1.0. And that, but one of the key things that I got from it is that wife 1.0 may be high maintenance, but it can be very rewarding in the end. But that statement is relative. And the reason I'm saying this is that, like I mentioned a series that I was watching yesterday. There is this particular character. Her name is Ladu, and her husband is very wealthy. She has never worked in her life. You should watch that series, Mr. Charles. Yes. She has never worked in her life, and the husband provides for her everything. She just goes out, she spends, uses the credit card, does whatever she wants, until harsh reality hits. The father-in-law passed, and they now learned that the father-in-law did not keep any will. Neither does he have any assets, because he is indebted to so many people. So in that case, wife 1.0 is not rewarding at all. Because she was not doing anything on her own. All she did was spend. The only thing she provided the husband was just emotional support. And at that stage, that guy needed more than emotional support.
That's true.
Needed more than emotional support. And the final advice of don't go and follow Secretary 2.1 is always
I wanted to ask about that.
They're supposed to write, do not install Secretary 2.1 because it will end in premium tiers.
I see. But some persons have said they are skilled at that kind of that program. They can install the Secretary what now 2.1. They can install it, and they are skilled at using that system, and nothing really happens to them. How true is that?
Well, maybe for those people that are the serial cheats,
or
they know how to cover their tracks. There are people that are very skilled in things like that. They know how
but one day
they will still get
them. I see.
They will still get caught. But there's a lot of effort that you need to put into hiding. And is it even worth it?
Yeah, of course, it doesn't really worth it. That's true.
That's true. Put in so much effort to hide, and at the end of the day, you still get caught, and you ruin your relationship. Because what cheating does is that even when the person forgives you, even when your significant other forgives you, that apprehension is there. I will look at you differently. I will be skeptical about your every move. And it's still back to this series, this Smart Money Woman series. There is another of the character, Tega. She's a lawyer, a top-notch lawyer,
Okay.
doing well in her career. But her husband is a in fact, I don't even know the right term to use.
Layabout.
A layabout. He does nothing.
Not so do well.
All he does is spend the money she makes, take loans,
Different strokes.
go around with different girls, and she ends up paying for almost literally everything. And the harsh reality that she had to face in the end was that this young man has a side chick on the side that he services with her own fund. And where she made a mistake was that they had a joint account and she was not monitoring the activities on that account. Till the day she went to the grocery store to buy grocery for her family, and then her card was declined.
Wonderful.
And she had to quickly rush into the bank to ask and all. They not told her
happened?
that your other signatory to the account has cleared the account,
Joint
and
account.
the guy had already moved away with the girlfriend, abandoning
joint
his
account.
family. Yes.
Joint
So
account.
that, like I said, that movie explored, is a series rather, explored different aspects of finance. There was one that she was burdened with family issues.
Okay.
Always having to, you know how African parents,
To support
they
the
will
family.
be there, they will make they will turn their kids into the breadwinner of the
Yes.
family. Or once they see that you have a little job that you are doing, there will be responsibility will pile up.
Yeah.
There's that one. There is one that has a conflict of not knowing when to stop buying designer shoes, bags. Then we now have,
Impulsive buying.
yes, we now have ladun on the side
Okay.
with expensive taste. She does not have a job but spends her husband's money. Then the lawyer with the bad husband. Then we now have another one, fashion designer with bad habits for taking risk when it comes to her business. Instead of her to scale up her business by accessing some loans, she would rather ask from her Yahoo boyfriend or from her dad
Okay.
with the intention of not paying back. So that sense of responsibility is no longer there. Because when you collect from those people, you will not want, whether you use the money to scale your business, there's no commitment. So it's a really good.
Yes, I think you send it to me. Let me watch.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's good. But one thing I want to mention on this one, now we are talking of this wife 1.0. It's very powerful. They say the system will almost certainly crash.
Yes.
Do not, under any circumstance, install Secretary 2.1.
Or one night stand 3.2.
And this is not supported. It's not
A supported
application for wife 1.0. Okay, and the system will almost certainly crash. So it's like an advice
Yeah.
that they are giving to so the wife 1.0 is like the operating system.
Yes. So
if it does not support some other ones, it will crash when you try to install those ones. Okay. So what advice would you now have our investors who are trying to go into marriage or who are already married? What advice do we have for them now?
Well, as for me, I'm not married though, but from the little advice that I've gotten from some people, they say before you make that lifelong commitment, have conversations around money, have conversations around finance. Have a clear understanding. Oh, this is how we run into. This is how we do it, to remove any form of doubt. But because you know that in this part, men are raised to be providers.
Yes, that's true.
So some of them, let me not say all, because the narrative is changing.
That's true.
There are guys who would rather collect from ladies than make their own these days. But however, there's still many of them that feel like it is solely their duty to provide. But I think it should be a partnership. Even though it's not 50-50, there should be a level that each of you are contributing
to the upkeep of the house.
Yes.
And ensure that the marriage continue to be sweet.
Yes.
Because they said marriage is sweet. Yes. Anyway, I can speak for myself. I've been there for quite some time. But you see, no matter how long you stayed in marriage, you are still learning.
Yes, that's what they say. It's a learning process.
The only institution that you are giving the certificate when you start the course, not at the end of the program. So we should all try to install wife 1.0 and ensure that any other program we are trying to install, it is compatible with the operating system. So nothing like Secretary 2.1, nothing like one night stand 3.2. Please, we should not have those kind of program installed when you already have wife 1.0. It's good to upgrade from girlfriend 7.0 to wife 1.0. Yeah, you have any other thing to say, Gina?
Nothing much. This is where we wrap up investor education for today. Remember to like, comment, and share our videos. On Facebook, it's at Broadstreet Radio NG. On Instagram, at Broadstreet Rad as well. Have an amazing weekend and stay blessed. Pardon me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So which come up on the under.